Today we're going to make a version of barbacoa. In this version, I'm going to try to introduce a little bit of a smoky flavor to kind of simulate a more authentic barbacoa. Now, what is barbacoa? Barbacoa is a slow braised dish using beef shoulder, blade, chuck, whatever you want to call it. And it has beautiful, bold flavors, and it's gently simmered. Barbacoa can actually refer more to the actual cooking method, which is buried in the ground. So imagine you have a earthenware pot of some type, and you have some beef, and it doesn't have to be beef. I think authentic barbacoa could be lamb, and it could be beef. It could be a number of different meats. Now, of course, here today, I'm going to be using beef. But the fact of the matter is, we're going to introduce a bunch of flavor and then allow it to do a slow braise with all those flavors, creating a delicious, tender, and smoky meat. Barbacoa is typically a taco filling. And so if you can imagine something this flavorful, you don't really need to dress it up too much. Just a few simple garnishes inside a nice crispy tortilla shell and you're golden. To get this party started, we're actually going to go out to the grill and we're going to sear off our beef as well as toast some of our chilies so that they're aromatic. Come on with me. Okay, so here we are at the grill. We're going to get some flavor going on for our barbacoa. I have my beef blade, beef shoulder. We're going to put a teeny bit of oil on it and just toss it. I'm not going to season it at this moment. We're going to just get some char on the outside of this. I've got nice big chunks, so we don't need little cubes, we need kind of good sized chunks. And while that's happening, we're also going to get our onion onto the grill. I'm just going to put the cut side down, and that will allow us to get a good char on that one flat surface. We're not interested in cooking the onion so much as getting some char on it, kind of like the beef. And then on the cooler side of the grill, we're going to get our chilies going. And so what we have going on here is we have an ancho chili, which is kind of sweet and earthy. We have Japones chilies, which are earthy but a little more spicy than the anchos. And then we have a chili seco, which is a serrano that has been dried. And again, kind of smoky and a little bit fruity. We're going to get those on and just have them toasty so that it kind of revives their flavor. Then we're going to get them into some hot water to soften them up, and it's going to be part of our amazing flavor profile. So we're just going to give these a flip. Got some nice color on that happening. Oh, that's looking good. This, of course, is going to lend a bit of a smoke flavor to our barbacoa. And we're going to let those go a little further. We want these to be charred or black. So a little further on those. Give our cumin and our chilies a little stir just to make sure they're cooking evenly. We'll close the lid and let those go a little longer. Okay, so you can see we've got a little bit of smoke coming off that. Those cumin seeds are perfect. So our beef shoulder has got the char on it that we're looking for. We're going to get that into our cast iron Dutch oven. And that's what that looks like. Our chilies also, you can see they've puffed up a little bit and they're giving off a beautiful aroma. So we're going to go put those in some hot water to soften them up. And our onions need some more time. We'll put them on the hot part of the grill. Again, we want those to char. Okay, so this is the char that we were talking about. Toasted cumin, charred onion, delicious flavor. Okay, so we've got our onions charred, we've got our beef charred, and toasted the cumin and the chilies. Our chilies are getting nice and soft. I've removed the seeds, and we're ready to build our braising liquid. Okay, to build our braising liquid, Our charred onions are going in. Our toasted cumin. And a little bit of cloves. Of course, our reconstituted toasted dried chilies. A little bit of beef broth just to get some liquid in there to get it blending. Some dried oregano. Now, if you're lucky enough to have Mexican oregano, that's what you would traditionally use, but we're using regular oregano. Some apple cider vinegar. Some fresh lime juice. And we're going to add some chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. And now this is going to get a blend. Oh my gosh, that smells amazing. So there we have our beautiful flavor profile for our barbacoa. All right, we're going to pour our braising, pour our flavor profile over top. Bit more beef broth. And I like a little bit of orange or citrus in mine. I love that little bit of sweetness that it lends. All right, so now this is going to settle in for a nice slow cook. I have the oven preheated to 300 degrees. I'm going to let it cook for 3+ hours. We're going to test it every so often to see how tender the meat is, and we will check on it then. All right, our barbacoa has done a 3+ hour slow braise, and it smells amazing. We've all been talking about how amazing the house smells, and it's super tender, so just beautiful, delicious, and tender. Let's have a look. So just to give you an idea of what the contents of our pot looks like, that's what we got going on. So our beef, I've checked it and you can just see it's given it up. Our braising liquid is beautiful and rich as well. Yeah, as I mentioned, the flavors in here are amazing. So at this point, I would typically remove the meat and shred it up a little bit. And I just want to show you how tender this meat is. Just beautiful, falling right apart. And because we've used the blade, it has fat that has rendered out of it, leaving it very, very moist and just with an amazing texture. So that's why we want to use a cut like this that has lots of connective tissue. It equals a very moist end product, but also a lot of flavor. So there you go. That is our barbacoa meat done. And now we are simply going to translate this into whatever you would like. Of course, barbacoa in a taco is delicious, in a burrito is delicious. I mean, wrap it up and enjoy it. Also, as an obvious option would be to have it over rice and beans, kind of as a barbacoa bowl, and that would be delicious too. When it's time to serve our barbacoa, I've chosen fresh corn tortillas toasted over an open flame. I absolutely love the toasted corn aroma and texture from this process. Alternatively, this can be done in a dry pan, or simply wrapped in tin foil and placed in an oven until warm and pliable. Once toasted, you can assemble your tacos. Today, I am garnishing mine with a fresh pineapple salsa, of which I will include the recipe below. This is definitely not a traditional garnish for barbacoa, but damn was it good. The smoky and slightly spicy meat with the sweet and fresh pineapple seemed like a match made in heaven. More traditional garnishes would be a little minced white onion and cilantro. A little of that braising liquid served on the side for dipping would also be traditional and very delicious. However you serve your barbacoa, it's sure to be a big hit. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy.